Hey there, viewers. Eldred Shannon here, and today we're going to play a game called Conversations While Eating. This is a game that I found while flipping through Joyce Piven's book, trying to find something new and creative for you guys to do this week. It all boils down to a word that I'm sure I've probably used a million times at this point, and that's specificity. Think of any iconic or great dinner scene from any movie. Just the environment, the location, the characters involved in this setting really made that scene great. It forced them into one location to deal with whatever conflict they were dealing with at the time. So specifics like conversations while eating, it's kind of important. It creates the realism of being in that room. What food is everyone sharing? What's the temperature of that food? The texture? How does it affect the way they talk and the way they emphasize certain points they're trying to make? As an actor myself, I'm a huge fan of even the tiniest nuances that can make certain moments pop out of the TV screen. So, with that in mind, this game is usually played with two people, but since you might be doing this in front of your mirror or just by yourself in your room, I am going to monologue this up for us. Yeah? So as we're playing Conversations While Eating, I want you to play this game while telling any general story. It could be a made-up story. It could be an actual story from your life. You could even be recounting what you did either today or the day prior. But you're going to do it all while eating food. Yeah? So again, the quick rules of the game. Really specify what you're eating, what the temperature of this food is, the toughness. If you're eating a steak, how do you really chew and try to talk and try to chew through this meat at the same time? If you're eating a giant ice cream sundae, how does that texture and coldness affect how your mouth moves and how you're able to get the words out? Do you get brain freeze halfway through? What's the texture and temperature of your beverage? Are you sipping hot tea with your meal, or are you enjoying a nice cold glass of Coca-Cola or Pepsi? Or maybe you just enjoy a nice glass of ice water. It could be anything at all. But picture yourselves in this setting, possibly a kitchen or a fancy fine dining restaurant. You have your meal right in front of you, and you're going to tell your story to your imaginary partner while eating this meal. Make sense? Awesome. I will give you a quick example. I will tell my story, and then I want you to try it. So when Millennium Dance Complex Chicago, it's a world famous studio that started out in LA, back when one of their branches was in Chicago, they actually held auditions for a company-wide showcase event being held in LA. And it was I was auditioning. It was the first audition I'd done, not only in like the past couple of years, but it was the first time that I did any kind of studio dancing, for like a month or two. So I came in feeling super rusty and just not really sure if I'd get cast as part of the dance crew or picked as part of the dance crew. So I walked in with the knowledge of it'll be a fun, free workshop class for me. But I ended up making the team. I think there were about 12 to 16 of us overall. Flew to LA a week before the shoot, or a week before the performance. And man, it was a week of just workshop after workshop after workshop. We would schedule in our own rehearsals in between. So we were actually able to rent out rooms at the Millennium Dance Complex LA location and have our own little private 1 to 2 hour rehearsals there. And then in between all that, all of these choreographers from like around the world, all of these teachers from various dance crews that came in. I mean, there were dance crews from Japan, Mexico, Sweden. Like, this was a way bigger event than I thought it was going to be. And some of the choreographers at the venue that were performing at the venue, I'm talking Marty Kudelka, Wildebeest Adams, who was it? Matt Stefanina, he was there performing. David Moore, if the name sounds for you, yeah, you've heard of David Moore before. Man, the venue was so beautiful. It was at the El Portal. It was at the El Portal Theater in North Hollywood, and North Hollywood was it's just a hotbed of just dance studios. I think you have like the Debbie Reynolds studio just a little farther on the outskirts of North Hollywood. You had Millennium Dance Complex at the time. I think now it's in Studio City, but before it was in the middle of the North Hollywood Arts District. And then Movement Lifestyle Studio was around there too. So, I'm digressing now. I love dance so much. So, in the middle of all that, you had the El Portal Theater where all this was being held. And it was just massive, at least like a couple to 300 seats. The stage was just big and spacious. So even in a big crew with like 16 people, there were some crews with like 30 people. You still had a lot of room to dance and move around in. So the event was amazing. We saw all of these amazing dance crews performing. And then right after the event was over, you go out to the lobby, you network and schmooze with the local LA agents or just local choreographers and dancers in the area. You know, pass your name around, get your name out. And then right next door was this really cool like bar and grill area called the Federal. And they had an upstairs where it was nothing but dancing. I'm talking just like, they were just having ciphers galore up there. And then downstairs, casual restaurant setup, you know, food, drinks, all that good stuff. And the food there was just so amazing. Like almost better than this right here. And overall, that was my last night in LA. And man, it was really the cap to an amazing week. When I tell you, I wish I could go back and do it all over again. The Chicago location unfortunately had to shut down, but man, it was really fun while it lasted. Wish you could have been there.